All right, here we go. It is Friday Eve. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here in the Extol Media Studios on this November the 13th, right up at 10 a.m. That means it's been at 10. It's our weather show here for Southern Indiana and beyond. And feel free to drop in the comments. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. Love the backyard thermometer reports, what's happening, current conditions wise. Also, if you have any weather questions, help guide the conversation. Looking live outside here, by the way, as well. And it's a beautiful start. Looks like some guys out there wetting the line, trying to catch some fish out here with some high clouds drifting over the area this morning. So there you can see that sunshine with some of the high cirrus clouds over the area. So we'll see a mix of sunshine and some of those high clouds filtering out a little bit of that sun from time to time today. So again, it's been at 10. Thanks for watching. If you're catching me on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. We're just going to kind of take it easy today. It's been kind of a wild week, in my opinion, because we had our first snow earlier this week with the winter weather advisory and the cold winds, brutal temperatures. And then we had the big light show, the Northern Lights, a couple nights ago. There was a little bit last night, but it just didn't turn out as good as the night before. But a reminder of that night here was this picture right here of those Northern Lights from Julie Libbs out of Floyd's Knobs. Got dozens and dozens of those pictures a couple nights ago, and I saw just a couple pictures floating around on social media last night of that. But if you're new to the show, I want to give you the forecast right off the bat here. We'll look at some more current conditions. We'll dig deeper into the forecast, and then around 10:20 or so, if you want to stick around and really nerd out with the weather, we'll look at the long range with some of the weather model data. And it does look like we'll get into a busier weather pattern next week and for the rest of the month of November. And what that would mean by busier, some storms every few days. All right, we're rocking and rolling here for this Thursday, November the 13th, sunny and mild today. Hopefully you can get outside and enjoy. Yesterday was really comfortable. The wife and I got out for a walk around the park when she got home from work. And today even better because almost no wind out there. Center of high pressure right over the region, keeping it calm for us. A little disturbance will move through tomorrow morning into the early afternoon with some extra clouds, maybe a sprinkle out of that. But a lot of the area will stay dry and actually mostly dry for the rest of this week. And then, hey, 70s on Saturday. Great weather to maybe try to get out on the golf course or something. And then a cold front will move through late Saturday night. When we're sleeping, we might get a rain shower with that. And then cooler and dry Sunday with upper 50s, low 60s. And then we'll see some rain chances increasing as we head into next week. So that's kind of the summary there. And we'll get back to that here in just a second as well. Of course, we've got whole lot of weather content, as always. We've got your weather jokes, your weather history, and then we look way back in the day of the weather history. Then we try to look down the road and go out on a limb with the extended forecast as well. So, as always, a lot to talk about here and chat about on the show this morning. And again, there's another live look outside. Speaking of live looks outside, here is another one. You can see some of the airplane contrails way up high in the sky. We only get those contrails from the planes when you've got some moisture up there to work with. Otherwise, it'll just be a clear blue sky. Those contrails mixed with some of the high cirrus clouds as well. But a good-looking start to the day. Just a little bit on the chilly side. Got a couple frost reports this morning. And we've got Orlean Whitlow popping in the comments here this morning with a very good morning. 34 degrees earlier for that low temperature, and now 43 degrees. And Beverly Haggist, a good morning to you with 36 degrees. And Dennis Gregory's feeling good there in Bedford, Indiana, always trying to inspire us with that 7 a.m. walk he's getting in every day. And kudos to you, sir, for doing that every day as well. And I want to mention here, and you've got a ton of tools right at your fingertips here at extolmag.com/weather. We've added another interactive map with radar, and I do want to show you that map because so it's this gray one right here, and eventually we're going to get centered up right over our area, but it starts off with where the computer thinks or the map thinks your computer is. But at the top right corner, there's an orange button right there, and there are dozens of layers that you can check out. And temperatures, winds, all that fun stuff. And there you can see the satellite image. Very cool there. The only storm system out over the west coast that you see right there, and eventually some of that energy will be heading our way. But again, high pressure over the region, keeping it high and dry over our region for now. This is look at the winds, which are very, very light across the area. There's also future radar here that will use the weather models, and notice that you're going to start to see the system out to the west move forward in time. So this is going into Friday. There's a slider at the bottom that you can see right there. So again, just dozens of layers that you can play around with that interactive map right there. We still have this interactive map too, which shows our current conditions in the upper 40s, low 50s. And again, almost no wind out there. Very quiet conditions over much of the continental United States, except getting busy there over the west coast. As always, too, you've got your local maps here, the drought monitor, which we don't really care about anymore since we don't have any drought here. Updates every Thursday. And the government shutdown is over with, so I'm really happy for my friends at our local National Weather Service. And Carol Payne, heavy frost there in G-Town, Indiana, and Georgetown. There you go. Thanks for that report. I didn't see any frost this morning. We're kind of on about 600 feet up on a hill. And so down in the valleys where the cold air sinks is typically where we'll see more frost. But again, lots of tools, as I mentioned, right here at extolmag.com. You've got your current conditions, and you've got your daily weather forecasts, your hourly forecasts. There's just a whole lot of information there for you. And I want to thank our partners, too, here at Lyons Roofing. Now, they've got you covered in Louisville Metro, in southern Indiana, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime, that being your rooftop. I've actually got a roofing joke coming up. 812-294-3595, and you can get free estimates here. They are a family-owned company right out of Memphis, Indiana. And a good morning to Lillian Lasley. Got up with 41 degrees, now 50 there in Litchfield, Kentucky. And hey, also Ivy Tech Community College. I was actually playing around on their website this morning, and they just put so much on here. You've got maps and tours. You can click play right here, and it's going to take you through their different areas. And it's all interactive, so it's like all 3D. It is crazy. I don't know how they put this together, but you can see you can just tour wherever you want to go. But obviously, you can get in-person tours with their Tuesdays at the Tech that you can sign up for. You can click on the academic programs offered, 42 and counting programs offered, and it shows you like some of the base salaries that you can get with these programs. And obviously, they're going to hook you up with making it easy to get started by helping you out with financial aid, scholarships, veterans benefits. They've got Family Scholarship House that they're building out there. Baptist Health is building a facility out there. It's expanding. Good stuff going on is the moral of the story here at Ivy Tech, ivytech.edu, and the Sellersburg location. Exit 9 miles north of Louisville. You can find out more there. And a shout out to my buddy Michael Long here. So he contacted me yesterday and was like, I found another way for you to get a discount. Just bundle up a life insurance policy, you'll get some more money back. And they've also price reductions on their auto renewals. So if you want to get a quote and check it out, there's like 3 different ways we're saving right now. My kids' grades, the app that we use, and then now this extra bundle. So always looking for ways to save, and I appreciate that. Again, you can get a quote here, 812-578-3072. Tell him that I sent you, or you can go to amfam.com, amfam.com, and then search Michael Long, and it'll take you to this page right here. And again, as a teaser, I was talking about a busier weather pattern next week. We're quiet for the rest of this week, but look at that energy that's off the West Coast, okay? We're watching that, we're watching that, and then it could eventually head our direction. This is the big storm right here. By the way, I've used this for probably 25 years, I'm guessing, this page right here, College of Do page out of Chicago. They just have a really easy way to use the weather models, completely free right here, by the way. And you got your European weather model, GFS. So take a look at if you ever want to just play around with the weather models. But that's the European weather model right there late next week, showing a pretty potent storm system. So we'll kind of see if that happens. We'll talk more about that with the GFS weather model with our in-house products here as well. So that is part of what we're going to be talking about here this morning. We've been taking a live look. We got some high clouds filtering out maybe just a little bit of that sunshine from time to time for today, but it is going to be a gorgeous day out here across southern Indiana and Kentucky. Reminder as well, anytime you want to connect with us and you want to be part of the Extol Weather, Extol Media partnership here, advertising, marketing solutions, we can help be your megaphone for southern Indiana and beyond. It's ben@extolmag.com. That's my email. We can connect there. And then after that, maybe have a phone call, virtual meeting, whatever you want to do, or jason@extolmag.com as well. Would love to hear from you. Also, there's the NWSB at any of their locations here. They've got a food drive through December 15th. So they're looking for canned food, non-perishable items, snacks, dry cereals, and this benefits Reach, a food program for kids at in the NWSB location. And again, I was just talking earlier how kind of a busy week it's been. We had the first snow of the season earlier this week. Then we had the surprise northern lights a couple nights ago, and this was another good picture here from Julie Lives out of Foyt's Knobs. And thanks to all the dozens of pictures that I got, by the way, incredible. I posted a lot of those on our webpage, extolmag.com. So again, here's your weather headlines. We start to dig into the forecast. Sunny and mild today. Might get a couple sprinkles tomorrow. Not a big deal. And some extra clouds out there. 70 Saturday. That'll be our warmest day of the extended outlook. And then some cooler 50s on Sunday. Looks like we'll start to bring in a rain chance early next week and again late next week. We'll talk more about it here in just a second. Thanksgiving in just 2 weeks. It is Thursday today. So a couple Thursdays from now. Earliest sunsets in 19 days. So as we head into early December, right around December 2nd is when we have a 5:22 p.m. sunset. Christmas in just 42 days. And springtime, 126 days. Here's your weather history. 1933, the first great dust storm of the Dust Bowl era in the 1930s occurred. The storm, this is what's crazy. The storm spread from Montana on the 12th to the Ohio Valley here, and then to the Atlantic seaboard on the 13th, resulting in a black rain over New York and a brown snow in Vermont. Dust reduced the visibility to a half mile in Tennessee and a 3/4 of a mile at Bowman Field in Louisville. 1933. 1946, a GE scientist, this is interesting, Vincent Schaefer, unloaded dry ice into a cloud over western Massachusetts, which subsequently produced snowfall. This experiment served as a basis for further studies to modify weather. So now they use some different things to put into clouds and try to produce rain in dry areas. They're not really creating weather. They're trying to produce out of a cloud that's already there and see if you can produce a little extra rain in some dry areas. So, and then they tried to, Storm Fury was a program where they tried to see if they could weaken hurricanes by doing this dry ice experiment too, which it just never worked. That was kind of interesting. And in 1976, an EF3 tornado struck Australia on the Pacific coast. The tornado lifted a car 20 feet off the ground and threw it 300 feet into a ditch, unfortunately killing the two occupants. 1981, a powerful cyclone brought high winds to Washington and Oregon. Cyclone, which formed about 1,000 miles west of San Francisco, intensified rapidly and approached Oregon coast with a very low pressure. The wind trace from the Whiskey Run turbine about 12 miles south of Coos Bay in Oregon showed peak gusts of 97 miles per hour, 50 feet off the ground. 1997, a winter storm brings 4 to 6 inches of snowfall in a 50-mile wide swath centered on Interstate 70 between Terre Haute and Indianapolis on the 13th to the 14th. And in 2019, 6 years ago, Louisville sets a record low temperature of 16 degrees. And here's your stupid weather jokes of the day. What type of weather tastes the best? Of course, a blizzard, a good Dairy Queen blizzard. You can't beat that. What kind of shoes do frogs wear? Open-toed. Here's the roofer joke. My roofer gave me a roof for free. He said it's on the house. Ba-doom-ch. What do rabbits need after the rain? A hair dryer. H-A-R-E, hair dryer. It's punny stuff. Today's forecast for your Thursday, November the 12th. 62 degrees today, mostly sunny, mild, just a very light breeze from the west at about 5 miles per hour. Sunset at 5:31. I'll show you why our winds are so light and it's so peaceful today here in just a second. And tonight's going to be quiet here for us. We're looking at a low of 40 degrees, maybe a few clouds passing through, light southeast breeze. And Tina Sanders with a good morning. Loving the weather today for sure. And thank you, Beverly Haggis. Loving the weather jokes. And so quiet tonight, a little bit chilly out there. And then for your Friday, tomorrow, November the 14th, 40 out the door. Mostly cloudy, we'll call it. We've got this little disturbance. I'm going to give it a 20% chance of a sprinkle or a little bit of a light rain shower, especially late morning, early afternoon. But a lot of the area will be dry tomorrow. Lily and Lasley, thanks so much. We'll try to keep them coming. Our normal high is 58, so we're about 6 degrees above normal tomorrow, and we'll keep that above normal trend going as we head into Saturday with 73 degrees. That's going to be about 15 degrees above normal for Saturday. Now, cold front will move in overnight Saturday, give us maybe a light rain chance as many of us are sleeping, and then cooler upper 50s on Sunday. But it looks like the daytimes are going to be dry this weekend, so plenty of good weather to get outside, blow off some leaves, winterize some things, maybe do something fun as well. So then Monday, so most of the models are dry through the daytime Monday, late Monday and into Tuesday, our rain chance starting to ramp up a bit. And then a larger storm system may come in Thursday, Friday timeframe late next week with maybe some thunderstorms, and that could be a stronger storm system. And if you're on here earlier, I showed that with the European weather model, and we'll talk more about that again around 10:20 as we bring up that weather model data. All right, let me remove this. And again, looking at some of the current conditions across the area, the big old radar and satellite across the United States. Active weather out over the West Coast. Eventually, that energy will make it our area. But as you look here over the Ohio Valley and over our region, this is the center of high pressure. So the air flows out of that. So we got just a very light breeze today. That's also keeping us high and dry with plenty of sunshine. There's just, if you look real closely, some high wispy clouds, some high level moisture that'll be drifting through with that sunshine out there for today. But again, coast to coast and border to border, pretty quiet conditions overall over the United States. And again, just kind of taking it easy. We've got some easygoing weather here for the rest of this week. And then it's really next week, probably the next 2 weeks, starting next week, the rest of November, we might have a system every few days, a busier weather pattern and a stormier weather pattern for the rest of this month. And that might transition us to a colder December. Yeah. December is usually colder. We know that, but maybe colder than normal, we'll say. Maybe a head start to the winter season in December. We'll see about that. There's a lot of data out there that suggests kind of a weather pattern flip for us next month, which isn't too far away. We're now to almost the middle of the month here. If you're still in here at 10:18, thanks for joining us. Here's Big Happy, giving us a jolt of caffeine this morning. Hope you guys are off to a good start as well on this Thursday. Let's start to bring up the weather model data here this morning. And I'm going to start off with one last current condition, and that's just a look at the current temperatures across the United States. And it's still pretty cool air. You can see a lot of blue on the map. This has winds. And it's got these little lines or fronts. And so as we zoom in here a little bit closer, turn off the animation. Temperatures in the 40s. Yeah, it's on the cool side, but we'll get up into the low 60s later this afternoon, and the milder air hugging the Gulf Coast and the southeast, but still coolish across much of the United States. Now bringing in the, I'm going to bring up the NAM weather model, the NAM 3 kilometer. These are high resolution models. And this is going to just show us our small rain chance tomorrow. So I'm going to jump ahead to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Jump it ahead because there's nothing to show today other than a clear sky. Now you got to have to maybe get out your binoculars here. There's a little bit of green heading towards the Indiana and Illinois state line. This is 7 a.m. I'm going to jump ahead to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And it shows, if you look closely, there's a little bit of green there heading towards Bedford, Indiana. This is around 10 a.m. And then I'm going to go to noon tomorrow. And you're just going to show, it's just basically I would say, again, maybe a cloud produces a sprinkle tomorrow over southern Indiana, Kentucky looking drier. And a lot of areas going to be dry tomorrow. But I just want to show you that I got a 20% chance of a sprinkle tomorrow here. So it's hard to see, but there's just little blips of green. It's a very weak disturbance moving through the area for our Friday. It will bring in some extra clouds and that tiny sprinkle chance. But that's it. So no big deal with that. Now I'm going to jump ahead with the GFS weather model. And I'm going to jump ahead to the 15th, the night of the 15th. Because that is when we'll have a front move into the area. There's not much with it. There's just about a temperature drop. Notice just a little green off to the east. This is at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's why I put no rain chance on the weekend, because if we get this small rain chance, it's during the overnight period. So no big deal with that. There you can see most of that rain's off to the east anyway. This is 7 a.m. on Sunday. And then Sunday just ends up a little bit cooler. We're in the lower 70s for Saturday. And then behind this front, we've got a little bit of a temperature drop to the 50s and low 60s across the region. But that is just getting us back to normal. If you really want to warm up, look at that. It still feels like summer down in Texas. Southern Arkansas is pretty warm. But not for us. We're on the cool side. All right, let me change this back over into the temperature map, or the rain map here. So now we're going into this is the 16th. I'm going to jump ahead to the 17th afternoon, which is Monday. It is showing a little bit of a rain chance late Monday here. The Euro and the Canadian hold this rain back a little bit longer to Monday evening. And a good morning to John Fox. Good morning, sir. Thanks for popping in. Now, this is going into the 7 p.m. on Monday. And as we head into Tuesday morning, notice that rain chance ramping up here for us. And the GFS and the Euro both show this. In fact, let me go ahead and bring it. So this is the GFS. Let me bring up the European weather model. And I'm going to back this up to, that is Tuesday right there. If you look closely, you can see some of that rain moving through our area. But it's late next week that big guy could be moving in Thursday, Friday time frame, late next week. And then notice another storm system. So this is why I'm saying starting next week, we could start to be in a storm highway, so to speak, with a storm rolling through maybe every 2 or 3 days. And some of these could be some stronger storms as well, especially that one right there. That's next Thursday. And again, that's at weather.cod.edu. Anybody can look at these weather models for free, by the way. And so we're heading back here to the GFS weather model next Tuesday. There's that rain chance. I'm going to back up our view and look at late next week. So I'm going to jump ahead to Wednesday the 19th. So storm system starting to creep in from the west. You can see that right there. Notice it starts to gain strength out to our west. This is going into Thursday, the 20th. This is Thursday afternoon, and then going into Thursday evening. We'll just need to keep an eye on this one. This could be kind of a windy system. Let me see if we've got wind gusts on here. I think we do, yeah. So there you can see some of the winds with this system. Looking pretty strong. This is a week from now, next Thursday evening. Look at these wind gusts. So these could be the potential for some gusty thunderstorms around this time next week, maybe next Thursday, Friday. That's around November 20th, 21st time frame. Just something to keep in the back of our mind, and we'll keep fine-tuning this forecast as we get closer. But again, your confidence goes up that we're going to get into a busier weather pattern, a more active weather pattern, when not only do you see the GFS lock in onto this, but also the European weather model. But so that would definitely probably knock the rest of the leaves off of the trees if we get some winds like that. So that is a gusty system right there, a potent low pressure system, and it's got the power of the jet stream to work with it as well. So there's going to be strong winds aloft. That shows 100-mile-per-hour winds right there. And I'm kind of interested in the low-level jet at the 850 millibar level. This is 5,000 feet above. So this storm has a lot of wind energy. This is 5,000 feet up, not that high up. 70-mile-per-hour winds. So this setup would give us the potential for some damaging winds late next week, next Thursday, Friday. Gonna keep an eye on it here. And then as far as the Cape, the cat just bumped the camera. What are you doing, Elvira? So the Cape isn't crazy. This time of the year, we often get low Cape, which is low fuel for the storms, but high wind shear, a lot of wind energy. So this can give us, hopefully you don't get convection or thunderstorms, because then you can tie into that wind energy and get a better chance of straight line wind damage. Otherwise, if it's too sheared, what happens is, now you might get some thunderstorms, but you kind of want your thunderstorms to be tilted a little bit like that. Then you've got a constant inflow of fuel and outflow. If it's like this in the summertime, the storms will pop up and then wash themselves out. They're not severe. Springtime especially, you'll get a nice perfect tilt. You got a nice balance between a healthy amount of fuel, Cape, convective available potential energy, and also wind energy, wind shear. You get that perfect combo, you get outbreaks of severe weather. With this system, it's overly sheared, so the storms are so far tilted over that the storms aren't very strong, but it can still be pretty gusty. And so kind of a gusty rain shower event. You can still get some isolated wind damage with these systems if they're strong enough. So again, this is something we'll watch for next Thursday, Friday. Weather pattern ramping up as far as storm systems. These are coming in from the Pacific, so I'm not seeing any polar air with this, not looking at any snow chances. I think it's going to be December when we got a 2-week, probably stormier weather pattern to get through, and then we might start to switch into a colder weather pattern as we start off our December. So that's kind of what we're thinking here when we're looking at long range forecast. And since we just talked a lot about the long range, that has been been on a limb. All right, so meaning we're going out on a limb. We'll see if it happens, but a lot of confidence that we'll see that possible stronger storm system late next week. So we'll see about that. I think that's about all I want to show here with the weather models. I don't think there's anything else very interesting with this. Nah, not precipitable water. Let me go back to, we could add up all the rain over the next 384 hours and just show you if we have a busier weather pattern, well, then you would think we're going to get a little bit wetter. With these storms kind of ramping up and originating, I wouldn't say originating, I would say ramping up off to our southwest over Missouri and Oklahoma. And so this is adding up all the way through November 29th. So basically a couple weeks out, all of the rainfall total, okay? So they're looking at over the next couple of weeks, maybe 5-6 inches of rain over there over Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. And then as we zoom into our region, this is showing the potential of anywhere from about 1 to 3 inches of rain over the next couple of weeks. So the moral of the story is a more active weather pattern, a more stormy weather pattern. We might get a 1 or 2 day break and then another storm rolls through. We'll have a lot more to talk about over the next couple weeks. With that said, let's enjoy the weather that we have out there now. Speaking of which, you can see some high cirrus clouds out there filtering out a little bit of that sunshine right now. And we can take another live look out there before we recap the forecast for those of you jumping on a little bit later. Here is a look at some of the high clouds. That is some high-level moisture that's producing some of the cirrus clouds that we have over the region right now. But it's going to be mostly sunny overall for today. Lovely day out there. And let me jump ahead here to the weather headlines once again. Does that look weird on your end as well? That was like a blue frame. Is that blue on your guys, or does that look normal? I've got a blue tint that I'm looking at. Let me know if that's looking weird on your side as well. There, now it's normal. That was weird. Okay. All right. Now we're back to normal. So our weather headlines today: sunny and mild, low 60s, a wind at 5 miles per hour from the west, and some sunshine and some high cirrus clouds. A couple sprinkles possible tomorrow, and then 70s Saturday. It looks like the weekend will be dry with a small rain chance overnight Saturday, cooler upper 50s and low 60s on Sunday. The countdown continues, 14 days until Thanksgiving, our earliest sunset in 19 days, which is 5:22 p.m. Christmas in 42, springtime in 126 days, spring of 2026. A lot of weather history here. I'll post this at noon on my Facebook page if you want to take a longer look at it, or you can watch the replay. Orlean looked normal from you watching there. Okay, on YouTube. Thank you. Sometimes it just looks different on my side. Thank you. There were stupid weather jokes today. What type of weather tastes the best? A blizzard, of course. What kind of shoes do frogs wear? Open-toed. A roofer joke. My roofer gave me a roof for free. He said it's on the house. And what do rabbits need after the rain? A hair dryer. H-A-R-E. We're moving right along. Thursday, today, November 12th. Happy Friday Eve, 62 degrees, mostly sunny, mild, west wind at around 5 miles per hour, sunset at 5:31. Tonight's low 40 degrees, a few clouds and a bit chilly, and a light southeast breeze overnight. Sunrise 7:23 tomorrow morning. Your Friday forecast, some extra clouds out there as this little disturbance moves through. There might be a sprinkle. Yeah, we're looking ahead. We're counting it down, Tina. Got to get through winter. Man, I might need to start counting down to next summer, my favorite season. So 64 degrees, despite maybe that sprinkle chance and some extra clouds, it's still going to be a mild day tomorrow. And the winds will stay pretty light from the southwest, around 5 to 10 for our Friday. The 7-day forecast, we got 73 Saturday. Pretty good looking weather if you want to do something outside this weekend. That little shower chance during the overnight period, Saturday into Sunday, as that front moves through. That'll drop us by about 15 degrees cooler Sunday to 58, and then down to 37 Sunday night. We're a little coolish early next week in the upper 50s. It looks like late Monday to Tuesday we'll see a decent rain chance, but as we talked a lot about with the weather models, my eyes are kind of on late next week with the potential of a stronger storm system over the region. That right now looks like a Thursday, Friday time frame. We'll be fine-tuning that over the next several days, no doubt about it. All right, that's the forecast. I want to remind you, you can always get your weather resources here, and there are a bunch of them. We're always fine-tuning. Let me know. You can email me if you want to see a product that you're not seeing, and we can put it up here on the website. We're always improving and making it better. This is extolmag.com/weather. The interactive maps are really fun to play with. I mean, you've got not just in the upper right-hand corner in this orange button right there, there are dozens of things you can mess with right there. You got your current weather, 51 degrees. It shows the sun as it goes up in the sky, and the sunset, the sun rises, the moon phases, the moonrise, the moonset, visibility. Of course, any rain chances, UV index, winds, humidity, pressure, clouds, just all kinds of stuff here. Your daily forecast, which takes you through the next 7 days, 8 days actually, and the hourly forecast that takes you through the rest of today. The brand new 7-day forecast that I posted today. So there's no need, no reason, no excuse to ever be not in the know when it comes to weather in our area because of this resource right here. The weather story that I post every day. And then you've got your regional maps with deals with severe weather, storm reports, day 1, day 2 outlook of risk of severe weather, drought monitor, regional radar, weather and traffic, river levels, and again, the interactive maps that you have right here. So very cool stuff. Check it out. And a reminder too, I want to give a shout out again to our partners out there. And a reminder, you can become a partner. Advertising marketing solutions right here at Extol Weather, Extol Media, Ben at extolmag.com, Jason at extolmag.com. It's not just this show. It's content that, I post and we post throughout the day, every day on our pages and on our social media out there. So we're all over the place on all the different platforms. If you want to connect, again, there's my email address there at ben@extolmag.com. I want to thank our partners here at Lyons Roofing, Lyons Roofing, co.com, lyonsroofingco.com. They've got you covered on both sides of the river. 812-294-3595 is the number to call. Free estimates here online as well. Make sure that roof is in good shape because our weather pattern is going to get stormy over the next couple of weeks, and you can get some free estimates right there. So much going on at Ivy Tech Community College, Sellersburg. You got your locations right here. Boom, there's the Sellersburg campus. So many different links to just tell you all about their programs, how to get started, that you can see right there. You can cruise down. You can click on the Ivy Experience. You can also register for Tuesdays at the Tech and get that one-on-one personal contact, get the campus tour, how to get registered, sign up for classes, career coaching, all that good stuff right there. And I want to thank Michael Long. He contacted me yesterday and was like, hey, there's another way to save. So we're saving with student discounts. We're saving with the app. And now if you bundle some life insurance, you save even more. So find ways to save. There have been price reductions in their auto policies. If you want to get a quote, tell this guy I sent you, 812-578-3072, American Family Insurance, amfam.com. And go right here and search Michael Long, and it'll take you right to his page. And again, this is what we'll be talking a lot about here over the next week is the potential for that storm right there. And we'll keep keeping tabs on that guy right there. No doubt about it. All right, that has been a show. There's one last live look outside there. Some high clouds wisping through the area here, live outside the Extol Media Studios at Benson's and Market in Uptown, New Albany. I want to thank you guys for tuning in here this morning. It's a quiet day today here at 10:37 on this November the 13th. Thanks, too, for liking or subscribing on YouTube, EXTOL. If you want to search that on YouTube and bring it up big old full screen on your wall in your living room. Extol Media, Extol Weather, I should say, on Facebook. And my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, and extolmag.com/weather. Thanks again for liking, subscribing, and following. And we'll have some very interesting weather, it looks like, for the next couple of weeks to talk about. It'll probably be a Friday edition from the back deck tomorrow morning, as thankfully it's warmer. I couldn't do a back deck. There's no way I could do it, Monday, Tuesday when we're in the 20s, because you can just destroy a laptop computer in the freezing conditions. So I won't be able to do the back deck weather if it's too cold, but I think I'll be out there tomorrow morning. And we're going to end it with Orlean Whitlow from Hodgenville in LaRue County. Have a great day on this beautiful day. Hope you guys can get outside and enjoy. Thanks for being with us.